Hey folks, I want to tell you about an experience that I had over the Christmas holiday with Newhall Ice Company, Old Town Newhall Ice Company. Look, we planned a large Christmas party for about 80 guests, and I wanted something special. Special as entertainment, of course, and we called it Old Town Newhall Ice. They came to our house, filled our backyard with fresh white snow. Let me tell you, it was a huge hit. They transformed our backyard into a winter wonderland. And even made a custom sled run, folks. Newhall Ice Company has been a family-owned business since 1906. From cocktail ice, ice bars, 3D sculptures. Look, I've seen some of the 3D sculptures. They are amazing. Old Town Newhall Ice, they have it all. Call today for free estimates and let Old Town Newhall Ice Company turn any day into a snow day. Call 661-259-0893. That's 661-259-0893. 661-259-0893 or visit newhallicecompany.com. This is Arif Halaby on your hometown station, AM 1220, KHTS. Hey folks, welcome to the show, Total Financial Solutions, Safer Money Hour. I'm Arif Halaby, talking about your family's finances along with Jeff Gerard, your family's financial life. Hey, listen, you're saving for something, right? For most of you, retirement is not a moment in time. It's probably going to be the second longest period of your time. Longer than the time that you raised children. You remember when you did that? Right? Raising kids is a big experience. It's a long period of time. It's a change in focus. You had your childhood years, and probably in your 20s sometime you had children. And then probably from then until maybe the next 20, 22, 24 years, you're raising children. And then you're going to have this window. It's called empty nest. And then you're going to have retirement. Now, retirement is probably going to be longer than the time period in which you raise children. Now, why is that scary? It's scary because if you don't prepare for it, then who knows what can happen. Financially speaking, you could end up in a whole host of problems. And it also depends on who you listen to. So, Jeff, we're talking about who you listen to. What happens if I call the IRS and I say, hey, IRS, I have a tax question. If I call 5 different people, how many different answers do I get?
You might get 5 different answers.
You guys have heard that, right? During tax season, you call up and you ask the person, try doing the same thing to Social Security. Go to the Social Security front desk, go to their website, call up their 800 helpline, and then ask somebody. Whatever the question is, chances are you're going to get a different answer. Now, that's important because if you're going to rely on these answers to guide and direct the decisions that you make, you want accuracy.
Sure. Well, I found if I don't get the answer I want to hear, I just hang up and call back.
That's right.
That's been my strategy. It's worked out wonderfully.
Right. Sounds like you're married.
Maybe.
Yeah. Look, a lot of the times when we try to figure this stuff out, you could go online, and it depends on the websites you go to, and it depends on the answers that you receive. Don't forget, you're going to have to fight for yourself because nobody else is going to fight for you. So even if you get the answers that you don't like or that you do need, and then all of a sudden you find out when you apply for Social Security or sometime later that it's a different answer, you need to go back and say, wait a second, on your website, based on your publications, here's what it said. And that will be helpful to you because Social Security is built on multiple layers. Number one, it's built on the Social Security website itself. They're going to give you frequently asked questions, FAQ. Those frequently asked questions are going to have exactly what they sound like. Most of the time, the answers that you will desire will be there, just because you're not going to be too obscure when it comes to the questions you ask. But what about if it's your personal, direct situation? Should I take Social Security at 62? Should I take the spousal benefit? That's direct to you. Nobody knows your numbers except you and the Social Security Administration.
Yet when you go online, and you're bringing up some great points, Arif, I think going right to the Social Security Administration's website is probably the best thing you can do and the best service you can do to yourself. Peruse the web, right? Go on the internet and look around, and you will see I mean, just like we talked about earlier, 5 different phone calls, 5 different answers potentially. You go to a different website and you're going to see people say, take it early, take it now. Some people say, don't take it until till the last minute. So somewhere between taking it the first day you're eligible and the last day that it actually compounds in your favor is the truth. But really, it's going to be a matter of you deciding what's best for you. But I think you're going to need some guidance along the way.
And the Social Security Administration is no different than most other federal government bureaucracies in that it's over bloated. Way too many people work for them that need to, and often they are not up to date with technology and the interactive ability as the website as it should be. So with that being said, you see over the last 12 months or so, Social Security is starting to lessen their employment, starting to fine-tune their technology, starting to put a lot of the answers and solutions online. That's great for you. But understand there's going to be a transition of time. Just like there's problems with Medicare, just like there's problems with Medi-Cal, right? They are bloated by far, bureaucracies with 6 people doing the job of 4 people. You try to wonder, what is their purpose? Remember this. Whenever you have the unions involved, the public unions involved, their job is to grow their membership. Right? You don't blame them. That's what their job is. It's to increase revenue. It's to grow their membership. It's to increase influence that benefits their members, just like the teachers union. LA Unified Teachers Union president or one of the top negotiators made it very clear when he said, we do not represent the students. Our job is the best interest for the teachers. That's exactly right. It was tough to hear it when you watched it on the news. A lot of people gasped and went, could that be? Well, yes. Ask any educator. Well, that's the same thing. Ask any government employee that is part of a government union, and they will tell you that their job of their union, okay, so that's fine. Just know where they're coming from and then decide if you like it or you don't. Don't think that something is blue when it's really green or up when it's really down, right? Just kind of know that. So then get through all that political baloney and get to the place where you look and you say, for me and my family, is it better for me to take Social Security earlier or later? Is it better for me to take the spousal benefit, for both of us to turn it on, for one of us to turn it on? You may have questions like that. We might be able to help put you in the right direction. But most importantly, you're going to have to supplement your Social Security. Jeff, right now we have 62 million Americans with some sort of benefits in Social Security. In 2017, that number was enormous.
It was $955 billion with a B in payouts. 955
billion. It would be interesting to see how much in contributions actually came in.
It would.
I bet it's less than that, meaning they're now dipping into the principal. At least they've been doing that for some time. So if you have, let's just call it $800 billion coming in and $955 billion coming out, you have to dip into the principal, which means those dollars aren't there to earn interest anymore. So $955 billion. 42 million, so 62 million people, Americans. Folks, that's 1 out of 5. You follow me? About 1 out of 5, 1 out of 6 Americans are receiving some sort of Social Security benefit. And it goes up every single year. And it will for another 10 years or so. Then it will dip for a little while and then it will go back up. That means eventually there might be 1 out of 4 Americans collecting some sort of Social Security. Because today a lot of those folks are getting dependents, disabled workers, dependents. In other words, they're a minor and their father or mother passed away, and so they're getting some benefits there. It's nice that you guys will raise funds for folks when there's a tragedy, but understand Social Security, if there is a minor involved, still pays out dollars to that minor for as long as they are alive and as long as they're underneath the age, depending on their age, 21, 18, depending on what they're doing, if they're going to school, etc.
Well, and that's some of the added pressure that's been incorporated into the Social Security system. And look, when it was built, that was fine. We had a little bit of a surplus, if you will, when one person was taking out for every 32 putting in. Now we're at about one person taking out for every 4 putting in.
Yeah,
Not to mention we're borrowing from other countries to make our obligations.
And you realize, I said Americans, right? 62 million Americans are receiving some sort of Social Security. Your children who are 15 years old and 6 years old, they're not putting in. So of the amount of Americans, 350 million or so, there's few of them working. Not all of them are working. It's about maybe 250 million Americans that are working. So you have 250 million people putting into the system, 62 million taking out. That's incredible. And some of that 250 they are not putting in because they're already retired. They're already the ones taken out. Mm-hmm. So we have fewer people putting money in and a lot more taking out. Now, if the underlying investment, wherever they put the money, if it's generating interest, right? They put in $1.10 comes out, then it's a profit. But if they are doing what was just busted last month, a Ponzi scheme, right? Which means I'm using new dollars that are coming in, not to invest to make interest, but new dollars coming in to pay the old ones that are owed, then now you end up with a system that's ripe for disaster. I have told you before, and I will tell you again, there is a 100% chance they have to restructure Social Security. There is a 100% chance they have to restructure Medicare. Now, when they do that, whichever political party is in power, the other one will show Granny being pushed off a cliff. They will show little kids, starving and with an empty bowl, and mother, may I have another? And little Timmy with the crutch. And they're going to say, see, those Republicans want to push Grandma off the cliff, and they want to take her Social Security. That's fine. Then everybody backs off, and we get deeper in debt, deeper in problems, meaning when the time comes to fix Social Security, when the time comes to fix Medicare, you will have to make the changes and much more drastic, or it will not work. Right? It's nice to change and tweak things a little bit as you go, but we should have done that in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. We should have started tweaking things a long time ago. As soon as we knew that people were living longer, as soon as we knew that people weren't putting in as much as they should, as soon as that happened, we should have been tweaking it. But nobody wanted to take prescription drugs from Granny. Nobody wanted to kick that crutch out from Grandpa.
Well, no one wants to take the blame for fixing something because ultimately someone's going to go without. There's going to be a reduction in benefits or a greater cost or a greater contribution somewhere else. So, this is a system that everybody's been railing to have fixed, but no one wants to actually dig their hands in and fix it because they're going to have their name on it. They're going to be the bad guy to a lot of people.
And this is really important. 1 out of every 4 married couples that are on Social Security, right? So go to the senior center, husband, wife. 1 out of every 4 married couples, go any place, count them. 1 out of 4 of them get 90% of their income or more from Social Security, meaning they do not have any other choice. If the government gives them a pay raise, they say thank you. If the government doesn't give them a pay raise, they get nothing. And they have to pay more for milk. You have to pay more for rent. You have to pay more for electricity. Even though we are at a massive record number of solar panels on the rooftops, where Southern California Edison pays nothing, 0, to maintain them. You understand that? Your home is generating electricity. Southern California Edison pays nothing to generate it. And yet other people have to pay more money for electric bill. And who will that hurt? Seniors? Yes. You understand, seniors are in a position to be the one that gets hurt coming and going. And if you don't prepare, and you are getting in your 40s or your 50s or your 50s or your 60s, you can expect that Social Security will hurt you significantly because you're not going to, that's it. That's what you're counting on. 43% of unmarried, that means 4 out of 10 single folks, unmarried people, get 90% or more of their income from Social Security.
Incredible. And what's fascinating to me is you think about some of the people that are newly retired and they have pretty decent incomes and, $1,500, $2,000 a month. Think about the people that are in their late 80s, even in their 90s, whose wages weren't as high as the people in the last few decades, because that's really what drives the number that you receive in Social Security. That's because they count a certain number of quarters, not all of them from the beginning of time, but the highest numbers contribute to that income.
Yeah, they count 35 years.
So you think about the people that only take in $400 or $500 a month, and that's it.
Yeah. We have seen it time and again that a lot of the old pensions, same thing. You can expect the only way that your pension is going to survive, only way, is if they stop giving you pay raises. Otherwise, it will implode. So today it's nice. You can live on $3,000 a month or $6,000 a month as an educator, and you retired at 64. And you look at your grandparents, and they were alive until they were 90s, and you look at your mom, and she's still alive at 104. And you go, I'm going to have more years collecting my pension than I do during the time I paid in. So how is this supposed to hurt you or help you? Very simply, whether you have a pension or Social Security, you need, and or both, some of you might have both, you have to plan just in case. Very important. It will happen if you live long enough to take care of yourself. And that is your own retirement account. Don't use your deferred compensation, 401k, 403b, all of those are your employer plans. Don't use those for anything other than retirement income. So many times people say, I have my IRA and my goal was just to save it up and I'm going to use it as a down payment on my vacation home. Well, Jeff, that hurts them.
Of course, because that's by and large money you have never been taxed on. And it's an individual retirement account, not your investment fund for your vacation home in, XYZ. It's supposed to supplement your income. The reason you're able to defer the taxes today is because the government says, hey, look, we're going to let you do that. And when you reach retirement age, and that's 59 and a half, you can start pulling this money out without a penalty. And most people drip that out to themselves in monthly income, which is the way they've been used to being paid all their lives. So why would that change? They say, well, I never really had this money to begin with, Arif, so I'm just going to take it out, take the tax hit, and just go plop it down on a property.
I see that, and here's the challenge with that. You want to take out $100,000, you might have to pay $25,000, $45,000, $50,000 in taxes. Yeah. Meaning you take out $100,000, and why is your paycheck say $56,000? Where did the money go? It went to the income tax, especially if you live in the state of California. That's hitting you at record numbers.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going to have to raise it even more, folks, because you realize middle-class people leave California when they retire. A majority of middle-class people do not stay in the state of California when they retire. Why? Well, number one is they have $300,000 equity in their house, right? So they sell it, and they go buy a house, maybe put half down, put $200,000 down, or buy it for cash in Scottsdale or Phoenix or Flagstaff or Henderson, Nevada, or Dallas, Texas, or Houston or Reno. Do you understand those places? Zero income tax. That's very important you understand that. That means when you get your pension from the school district or you get your Social Security check, once you receive those dollars, there is zero state income tax. And this new tax bill, if you are single, gives you $12,000 cash money tax-free. If you are married, that's $24,000 cash money federal tax-free. Big money. If you have a house and you have property taxes, there's another $10,000, up to $10,000 tax-free. So if you're a middle-class person under this tax bill, your first $34,000 in income, zero federal income tax. Okay, I get it. The other side wants to pick on people, but everybody's going to get some money back. And when you run around and say, it's only $900, it's only $1,700, I go, no, you know what? You're right. My progressive left friends, you're right. It's only $900. So why don't you come to my office and drop off just give me nine $100 bills. Just give me $900 cash. I'll take it. Oh, Arif, it's a lot. Oh, so now it's a lot of money when you're writing a check. But when you want the other side to get credit for it, it's not a lot of money. Listen, sometimes the other side wins. Just be respectful and say, hey, that's a pretty good deal. Be careful because this is your money.
It sure is. And I think what the message is here is that relying solely on whether it's the government to come down the pipe with something new that's going to benefit us on our taxes or an increase in our entitlements, I think what you really have to do is take a look at what this is really designed to do. This isn't designed to make or break your finances. It's designed to supplement your finances. When it comes to Social Security, it was originally designed to replace about 4 of the first $10 that you were spending in retirement, so about 40%. Now people are seeing upward of 50, 60, 70, 80, even 90% in Arif's example, making up their retirement income. I can tell you, some of the people that I really respect, admire in my life have done it right, and they use Social Security as hey, that's going to be my slush fund. That's going to be the money that I know that I can do whatever I want with it because I've saved enough in my personal savings and in my retirement savings. And a lot of those folks, Arif, believe it or not, were small business owners, and they knew the value of saving for that rainy day. And when they did that, they weren't caught, or left out in the cold when they didn't get a pay raise in Social Security because they weren't relying on that for a significant part of their income.
And what that does is it gives people a chance of self-reliance. One of the biggest mistakes that happened under the Franklin Roosevelt administration in the 30s is he took away the ability, the freedom, the self-reliance that a lot of Americans had. If you were an American before then, who handled your life? Who helped you if you were sick? Who helped you if you were disabled? It was your friends. Sorry, it was your family first, then your friends and your church. Then the government was like step 17.
Right.
Today, the soup kitchens still exist. Massive government welfare still exists. How? Called Section 8 housing, EBT, the Aid for Dependent Children, DCSF programs, the programs that give you SNAP, right, for kids. If you have more kids, you get more money. I'm not saying, listen, Arif, you want homeless people, and look, there's already homeless people. How much more money you want to give them? You realize until you fix the problem, the Band-Aids become more and more expensive. And unfortunately, until we fix the problem in the state of California, you guys, is bankrupt. I would even say corrupt. I have no problem. In fact, debating our state senator, ask him why, right? Our wonderful Democrat state senator. Ask him why he won't come on my show. Any idea? Because I think he knows the truth. He tried to go out and give, I'm going to placate to the educators. I'm going to give them free stuff. I'm going to let them not pay taxes for state of California. Then stop spending money, you guys. Mr. Stern, it's not difficult. You can do this. Come on my show at any time. You're on break, right? You guys are home. Who knows what you're doing? I don't see you around town. Come on the show. Let's talk about it. You want to be a Democrat, keep giving away money and doing sanctuary city? Then you tell me why my clients, 1 out of 3 of them, leave the state of California when they retire. You guys can't afford to stay here, and that's not right. You lived here. Your tax money built these roads. Your tax money built this state. And now they're going to take it from you, and they're going to give it to people who don't deserve it because they didn't work for it. And because we feel like 1 + 1 should be 6, then it must be. Or listen, have some compassion, because 1 + 1 is really going to be 9. If you have compassion, 1 + 1 is 9. Folks, 1 + 1 is 2. The state of California does not print its own money. It is bankrupt. I expect another letter this year that says I now have to pay a penalty again for every single employee. I had to do that for the last 2 years. If you had employees in the state of California, for me in 2016, I had to pay $150 per employee. Because in 2015, the state of California defaulted on its loan to the federal government. So they went to all of the employers and they said, if you have 1 employee or 50 or 50,000, it doesn't matter, you have to pay $150 per employee. And then in 2017, this year, because they failed to pay it in 2016. February, I got a bill that said, now you owe $175 per employee. Do you think they fixed the mess? Like, oh, crud, we're chasing people away. We're losing the best of the best. No, what they did is they said, I can promise you it'll be close to $200 or $210 this year. It'll be something silly. Why do you think Toyota left? Why do you think Nabisco? Why do you think Frito-Lay? Why do you think Nestle? These companies leave with thousands of employees. So if you are going to stay in this state and you think Social Security is your primary source of revenue, expect to be taxed at record levels because you are the only one making money. We'll be back in just a minute. I'm Arif Halaby. That's Jeff Gerard on the Total Financial Hour on AM. I don't want 1220. We'll be right back on your hometown station. Come join me, Arif Halaby, for Total Financial Solutions Safer Money Hour. Every Tuesday at noon, we uncover ways to help you manage your money, get out of debt, and prepare for your retirement. That's every Tuesday at noon on Total Financial Solutions Safer Money Hour. Are you not sure if you can retire yet? Listen to us and learn about tips for savings, retirement strategies, and so much more. That's every Tuesday at noon on Total Financial Solutions Safer Money Hour on your hometown station, KHTS.
Drugs or alcohol abuse can tear a family apart. In Santa Clarita, just like everywhere else, it's an epidemic. The Way Out Recovery is here to help. Call them now at 296-4444 or visit them on the web at thewayoutrrecoveryscv.com. The Way Out offers outpatient treatment for adolescents, adults, and family members. The Way Out is compassionate, caring, professional, and confidential. You and your family don't have to suffer any longer. Call the Way Out Recovery now, 296-4444, or visit thewayoutrrecoveryscv.com and make an appointment. Asking for help is the first step.
The Santa Clarita Artists Association has a new gallery in downtown Newhall on 6th Street between Main and Railroad, right across from the Canyon Theater Guild. The gallery features our members' paintings, sculptures, and one-of-a-kind handcrafted gift items. Whether you're an art lover, buyer, or an artist wishing to join, visit our website at santaclaritaartist.org, come to our free monthly meetings at Barnes & Noble, or stop by the gallery. For upcoming events and exhibits, check us out at santaclaritaartist.org. We make visual art visible.
And now, a cooking tip from Keith Mowry of Bob's Country Meats.
At Bob's Country Meats, we're featuring boar's head, boneless hams, sliced and tied, glazed, ready to go in the oven. 1 hour covered at 300 degrees and then 15 minutes uncovered.
Pork chops, tri-tip, chicken, turkey, steaks, even exotic game like buffalo and ostrich. For the tastiest pork chops in town, visit Bob's Country Meats on Soledad in Canyon Country.
Hometown, your hometown station.
This is your place for news, talk, and information, your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Hey, welcome back to the show, Total Financial Solutions Safer Money Hour. Okay, listen, as we talk about your family's finances, listen, if your goal is to stay in the state of California, you have to get active. You have to get these folks in Sacramento. The sooner they clean up the mess, the smaller the mess is going to be to clean up. But the longer they wait, the longer people like Henry Stern, state senator, who thinks that he should lower the voting age. Listen, if I want to give free stuff to you, you will vote for me. Did you know that? And the old adage of robbing Peter to pay Paul, you realize you will always have Paul's support. If you're taking from one and giving to the other, the one that's receiving it thinks it's a pretty darn good idea. I think I'll do 2 of those, please. The same guy who thinks he should give educators income tax free for the state of California. Now listen, I think teachers should get more money back in their pocket too. But you can't do it to one side of the equation. For every dollar you give back, you need to cut 2. For every dollar you want to raise, you have to cut 2 from somewhere else. That is the only way they're going to fix this state. We are on a crash course train wreck. Look at how many people are leaving the state of California. If they will not fix it in this state, then it will be the mega wealthy and the very poor. Right now, 5,700 people in the state of California, 5,700. Okay, there's 39 million, 5,700, very small amount. 5,700 pays nearly 20% of the income taxes. So who do you think gets to pull the puppet strings for the politicians? It's not the poor and the working class, because they don't pay anything. They didn't buy anything. It's the 5,700 that are buying something. What did they buy? Influence, union money. Let's give out more free stuff. So be very careful if you're stuck in this position. Some of you listen and support Mr. Stern. I'm happy that you do, because hopefully you'll learn a different perspective. Reach out to him. Call his office and say, come on to the Total Financial Hour. And let's debate. Let's have a conversation. Let's see if you can understand why most Americans think California is a state out of control. And Mr. Stern, if you're not tone deaf to the will of the folks that live in this area, Santa Clarita, Simi Valley, the Antelope Valley, then you'll listen because they are leaving. They take their pensions, they take their $500,000 401k plans, and they go bye-bye. They sell their home, and they leave. And they don't put their tax revenue for the next 25 or 35 years at the grocery store, at the dry cleaner, at the nail salon. They don't put those dollars back in the community. They put them in Dallas or Houston, or they go to Reno, Nevada, Washington, Oregon, Idaho. They leave. And this is on your hands. This blood of loss of revenue is on your hands. And you need to address this. All right, folks, as we continue here, we've got a couple of other things. The governor in the state of California is absolutely out of control. Many of you think you're going to retire in the state. And when we were younger, it used to be something called a millionaire.
Oh, yeah.
What did that mean? A millionaire. I can't wait to be a millionaire. What does that mean? Who wants to be a millionaire?
A millionaire. Well, I think it was just a status that you would reach because it was this idea that you couldn't ever spend $1 million if you were conservative, of course. I mean, some people probably could spend that in a year. But if you had $1 million amassed in savings, whether through your personal savings or retirement accounts, 401ks, whatever have you, that you could just live off of the interest forever and never dip into the principal. That was what I learned when I was in my
Let's say you're taking out
teens, 20s. Yeah.
4%.
Yeah.
So meaning you might earn a little bit of interest, you might have to dip in the principal a little bit. 4% would give you $40,000. Now, if you go back and you look at a husband and wife that are on Social Security, that might be an additional, maybe somewhere around $40,000. Okay, so you have 40 from Social Security, 40 from your $1 million account, and maybe you had a pension that gave you another $40,000 a year. That means you're living on about $10,000 a month, not counting on anyone to pay for your food, shelter, clothing every single day. So meaning there could be a little bit of an adjustment. Maybe they don't raise Social Security as much at all. They probably aren't going to raise your pension very much or at all. But you could still live. Today, if this moment in time you have $1 million and you retire at 65 years old, no problem. I think based on the numbers I gave you, especially if you leave the state of California and you have $400,000 or more equity in your house, and that balances your housing costs in the new place, I think you live very nicely. Right? Record number of people leaving California, and record number of people are living in other countries like Mexico, Costa Rica, and beyond. And they're retiring and they're taking their money with them. But what if you're 50 years old, 55 years old, and you think $1 million is a lot of money? What is the equivalent that it's going to buy you? Not much.
Well, you have to think about that. You're talking about today's dollars. $1 million is still a lot of money, but we're talking 15, 20 years from now, and at the rate we go as a country in spending and the way taxes are, taxes are on sale, in my opinion, right now. They're very low comparatively to where they were 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Now, is there a chance that the pendulum could swing the other way and taxes could go back to record numbers, 80, 90% for the top income earners? There's a chance.
And I think you're going to see this across the board. You're going to see that inflation has to kick up. We are in a cycle of economic growth, and as the cycle starts to turn, you're going to start to see the next layer, in my opinion, is inflation. Take a look at how the Federal Reserve is going to raise interest rates probably 3, if not 4 times next year, or this year, 2018. Take a look at how the cost already, go out to eat, wonderful restaurants in Old Town Newhall. Beautiful, great. And it's not cheap. Don't expect to eat dinner, husband and wife, or a couple, 2 people, 4 people, and get out of there for less than $50 or $100. It's just not going to happen. You had an appetizer, had something to drink, you're done. Taxes, state sales tax, it's not small these days. Another 10% by the time you're done with everything. So you have 13% state income tax. What's left now gets taxed at 10% sales tax. Your car registration is taxed at record high. You're paying about $1 plus per gallon in sales tax for gasoline and federal and state excise tax, and they just raised it again. So you have $1 per gallon gas tax. You have 10% sales tax at the restaurant. You have 13% income tax on the state of California. By the time you're done, everything, you're somewhere in the neighborhood of about 60%. That means $6 of every $10 that you have go out to taxes. So you can actually get $4 worth of something for every $10 that you buy. Inflation will start eating that up. And the $1 million today, if you're 42 years old, your $1 million in retirement will today, right? So you're 42 years old, $1 million. What does it buy in adjusted gross income? About $19,000 a year. So for every $1 million you have, you can buy $19,000 worth of stuff. If you're 32 years old, you're going to be below the poverty line.
This is $1 million poverty? Is that what you're
$1 million. So if you're 32 years old or younger, $5 million is kind of an average. You better shoot for $5 million.
Wow.
Is that not crazy? And it's going to get worse because if you stay in the state of California, taxes will eat that up as fast and or faster than inflation. When the judgment of the governor, when the judgment of Mr. Stern, when the judgment of our state leaders, Kevin De Leon, is to take your money and build a train, not water storage, not better electrical grid, not improving the freeways, not fixing the potholes, but to build a train. And the first $100 million, follow me for just a minute, the first $100 million 2 years ago, where did it go? To Dianne Feinstein's husband's business. $100 million. Before a shovel was in the ground, that man received $100 million. Dianne Feinstein is worth hundreds of millions. And they just made another $100 million. No, that's not corrupt. No, that's fair. Arif, you just don't understand. You don't understand. And if you don't like it, leave. That's what they say. Been in a meeting once, I won't tell you with who, but the wonderful Democrat said, if you don't like it, guys, just leave. Isn't that crazy? I was born and raised here. Insulting that these people think that they can chase people out.
Well, it's pretty disgusting. I mean, what I'm looking at here is what are some of the ways that we can get out of the government's pocket? I mean, everybody is saying, okay, let's put money aside and let's save in our tax-deferred accounts. Well, all you're doing is just putting both of the handcuffs on. I mean, the longer you stay in partnership with the government, because that's what you're doing. If you're putting money into a 401k, a 403b, a 457, these are the numbers that are given to your employer-sponsored plans depending on where you work. An IRA that you don't pay taxes on today. These are all tax deferred, not tax-free, tax deferred. That means you will pay the piper in the future. It just depends on when you do that.
If you're in a higher income bracket and you live in California, the more you defer, the better off you're going to be in the sense that I'm going to move to Florida, Tennessee, Washington State, right? Or Alaska, where there isn't state income tax, you will get a savings, no question about it. Now, if you're going to stay into a higher tax state like Illinois or California or New Jersey, if you're going to be somebody who's in a position to where they are paying more taxes now and later, then look at other brackets. The state of California is looking at some creative ways to try to save money with this latest tax bill. Because the federal government says we're tired of subsidizing poorly run states. So the federal government says, look, the Californians will say, or the Democrats in Sacramento will say, well, California only gets 17 cents or 50 cents for every dollar we send to Washington. We only get that much money back. Great. You have more people, so you should be managing the massive amounts of people. You can tax a lot of them a little bit. Fine. The truth is this, you guys. California is so inefficient. It's run in such an inefficient way. There's thousands of Caltrans jobs that are duplicates. There's thousands of people working for the state that shouldn't be. Not because they're bad people. I love them. They're wonderful human beings. But because the job doesn't need to be done. Technology or the job is done. It's replaced it. It's over. And yet we are stuck with them for 25 more years. And their pensions and their union dues and their benefits. So you have to ask yourself, as a business, does it make sense to keep paying people for not doing things? So what is California doing to try to fix its crisis, because it's going to run out of money here? It says, we're going to waive your state income tax. This is just a proposal, but it's getting some traction. We're going to waive your state income tax if you donate money to the state of California. Because now, on your income tax for federal government, you can put, I am charitable, I give a charitable contribution. So it's now a write-off. Since there's a cap on as much, they don't let you write off as much state income tax anymore. So the state of California is saying, we're going to let you donate money to the state, then we will waive your state income tax dollar for dollar. So rich people, middle-class people will stay because they get to write off their taxes. The state will get the revenue, and the federal tax law stays in place. Instead of saying, people are not showing up to my party. If you were our host, and you look around and you say, hey, listen, I'm a host. People are leaving the New Year's Eve party at 7:30 at night. It's not even, we started at 6 p.m. We were going to have a great party. Why are people leaving early? And you say, well, it must be them. And then more people leave by the time 9 o'clock comes around. And even before it strikes midnight, you're looking around and you see 6 people. And they're all very wealthy. They're all billionaires, Silicon millionaires, right? San Jose, Palo Alto, very wealthy people. And instead of saying, I wonder if I should find a way, and your servants, the people handing out the hors d'oeuvres, right? That's it. And the lady who's going to clean up when everybody leaves, she's going to do the dishes. And the guy who's going to, make sure all the tables and chairs are put away. That's the only 2 people left at your party. You have a choice, Democrats, to look around and say, maybe I should make it so the party is good for everybody, or maybe, or just maybe, it's you, and not the folks that left at 7 or 8 or 9 o'clock at night. Because middle-class people are leaving, and they're leaving in record numbers. All right, we'll be back in just a minute. You're listening to your hometown station. This is KHTS. We'll be right back.
Doing right starts right here. At Union Bank, community banking is at the heart of what we do. From giving customers more convenient access to their money to financing their homes here in the neighborhood, Union Bank believes in acting locally. We also believe that investing in local businesses helps everyone. For over 150 years, Union Bank has grown strong, one community at a time. We live here, we do business here, and we're here for you. Stop by your local branch today to experience the strength of community banking. There are 3 Union Bank branches conveniently located in the Santa Clarita and Antelope Valley area. To find your nearest branch, visit unionbank.com. Loan subject to credit and collateral approval. Financing available for collateral located in California, Oregon, and Washington. Fees and restrictions may apply. Terms and conditions subject to change. MUFG Union Bank N.A. member FDIC equal housing lender. Union Bank is a registered trademark and brand name of MUFG Union Bank N.A.
We all know someone impacted by the Las Vegas tragedy. It's touched our valley in thousands of households. Many of us were actually there. In Santa Clarita, we had 1 fatality and 14 injured by bullets. Many more were injured trying to escape. Others are still traumatized by their ordeal, finding challenges returning to normal lives. The law firm of Owen Patterson Owen is helping many Las Vegas victims get financial assistance for their ordeal. If you know someone impacted by the shooting, visit opolaw.com.
Visiting Angels is looking for quality caregivers and companions to join our growing team of compassionate, caring people providing care and assistance to Santa Clarita seniors. Our Angels help seniors with activities such as meal preparation, light housekeeping, personal care, and running errands. Visiting Angels takes pride in offering competitive wages, benefits, paid training, and flexible schedules. We have clients throughout Santa Clarita so you can work close to home. Details at visitingangels.com/Santa Clarita.
Angels, America's choice in home care.
The best live theater can be found right here in the Santa Clarita Valley. The Canyon Theater Guild has been entertaining audiences for decades with top-quality musicals and plays. Located in Old Town Newhall, the CTG also offers workshops for the young actor in your family. For more information, call the box office at 799-2702 or go to canyontheater.org.
Your hometown station.
Hey folks, I want to tell you about a wonderful experience I had over the Christmas holiday. Hey, thanks in large part to a great local small business named Old Town Newhall Ice Company. Yes, they've been here for quite a long time. Well, we planned a large Christmas party for about 80 guests and wanted something special as entertainment. So we called on Old Town Newhall Ice Company. Well, they came to our home and filled our backyard with fresh white snow. Let me tell you, it was a huge hit. They transformed our backyard into a winter wonderland and even made a custom sled run. Old Town Newhall Ice Company has been a family-owned business and locally operated since 1906. From cocktail ice, ice bars, to 3D sculptures, Old Town Newhall Ice Company has it all. Hey, call today for a free estimate on Old Town Newhall Ice Company. Turn any day into a snow day. Call 661-259-0893. That's 661-259-0893. 661-259-0893. Or visit newhallicecompany.com. Hey, welcome back to the show. Total Financial Solutions, Safer Money Hour. I'm Arif Halaby. There's Jeff Gerard. Say hi.
Hey there.
It's radio, not TV.
I thought nodding they could hear me. I was nodding really loudly.
I love it when we have kids on the show and they go, you ask them a long question, they go, yes, no. Say, hey, kids, it's radio, you got to talk. Hey, listen, when does $1 million nest egg, when is it not enough? When do you think saving $1 million, remember that old Millionaire and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and remember the shows that are on TV, and like the $64 question. Was it the $64? Remember that?
Maybe
$64,000 question. That's what it was.
I think there was a comma in there.
$64,000 question. Apparently, it was a lot of money. It was some sort of gimmick. $64,000. Why not 60 or why not 65? It just they pick a number. That randomness is just as important as the randomness of $1 million. Mm-hmm. When does $1 million mean anything? What matters more than anything is income, guaranteed income streams that never stop. Come to Total Financial Solutions. Give us a call. We'll be happy to give you an income stream strategy, a system, a program that says, look, you don't have to pay monthly fees. You don't have to pay any fees. You're going to get a cap on your return. There's going to be a maximum you can make. It's the way it goes. You want to give up something? That's one of the things to give up. You'll make between 0 and about 10 or 0 and 12% rate of return. And folks, this is very important. You will never go backwards when the stock market goes backwards. You will get guaranteed rates of return. Every year, you'll get something. If the market goes down, at the end of 10 years, if the market's down, you get something. Doesn't matter. No matter what, I don't want you to think that you're going to lose your money if the market goes down. It's more important to have a guaranteed income stream than it is to have a big bucket of $1 million or $2 million or $10 million. And who knows what happens if something changes on the other side.
Well, and I think the part that's really valuable in that, Arif, a number of things, but one of the most important that I hear from your clients is the predictability. Most people don't know how much they can take out of their retirement accounts or when they should start taking it out. And you're able to show them not only when they can take the money out, but exactly how much. At the worst case scenario, they will know exactly how much they'll have at a bare minimum, but it could be better.
Look, when you are working, your food, shelter, clothing comes from your income, from your job. So your retirement accounts can do this. They can go up and down, no problem.
Sure.
But as you transition into retirement and you get closer, 10 years before retirement, you start moving money over to safety. As you do that, your food, shelter, clothing comes from your retirement accounts. At least a third or half does, or should. And when that happens, you can't afford a 20% correction. I love it when Wall Street says, oh, it's a correction. What do you mean correction? Correction is good, but when I lose money, that's bad. So why do you call it a good name? You should call it a loss. If you lost money, oh, well, thank you. Thank you for correcting my...
No, you were corrected. You weren't supposed to have that much money.
Okay, so I was making money, but now I'm corrected, and now I'm losing money.
Correct. Correct.
So listen, Wall Street has these little games, these gimmicks, these names and words that they use. Keep in mind, their goal is not to make you money. Now, they don't mind making you money. That's a good thing. But if their goal, if their objective, if what you were buying was to make you money, then they would not charge you a fee if they lost your money. Simple enough, right? If my goal when I go to a restaurant, their goal is to make me a meal, my goal is to pay for it. If I end up paying for it and they're not required to make me a meal, I just pay for something and I never received anything. I just walk out. Or I get appetizers, but I paid for the price of a meal. You're like, how is that fair? Well, because the market corrected, the food price market corrected, come back tomorrow. And we'll see if you get a full price meal and if you get a meal. But why is it that one side is only obligated to deliver? That's you. You are obligated to pay the fees whether or not they make you money or lost your money. Well, when you are retiring, you can't afford those. When the market goes down, that's fine. You're buying more because the goal for you is to accumulate, right? You're accumulating wealth. Your food, shelter, clothing comes from your paycheck. After a while, your food, shelter, clothing is not your paycheck, but it's your bucket of money. It gives a high percentage. You saw 90% of your income for some retirees is coming from Social Security. That's dangerous. To give your money to these wealthy politicians, whether it be in Sacramento, which is just a pathway, it's a roadway to get to Washington, D.C., or whether it's the folks in Sacramento that are career diplomats, if you will, career politicians, or the ones in D.C. Be very careful. Don't trust them with your Social Security. Don't trust them with your retirement accounts. Verify. Double check. Hold them accountable. Say, listen, I'm willing to take a little loss now so that I don't have to go back to work when I'm 82. Because it absolutely has to change. There is no money. I don't care what political person or party wants to say anything. They have to change Social Security. They have to change Medicare. The states are spending money like drunken sailors, and then they turn around and they go to Grandpa federal government and say, give me money. We just blew a bunch. Give me money. We have massive corruption. Give me money. We blow the dollars on overspending. Give me money. That's what they're doing. And the federal government is saying is enough. And if you can't manage it as the state, expect there to be reductions. And trust me, folks, it's you that are to be the ones that have to pay for this, not the political establishment. They will blame somebody else. They'll blame some right-wing or left-wing conspiracy. They'll blame somebody somewhere, and it won't be you. It will be you that has to pay for it. And they will try to get your vote one more time, and somebody has to watch out for you. So put some or part of your money in a safe place. Get it away from this craziness. In our opinion, that's the right thing to do.
Well, and a big part of this is remembering multiple sources of income are the key to a happy and healthy retirement, and never just relying on one source, especially when it's coming from a place that you don't control, like the stock market or the government.
Yes. Expect inflation to kick up in 2018, maybe 2.5%, maybe 3%, which really means for you and me it's about probably double that. All right? So don't let them try to trick you and say, oh, inflation has only gone up 2%. When you go to the grocery store and you look at things and you go, well, things are costing us more money. Or you look at things and you turn around and you say, oh, wait a second. The gasoline is costing more money. That's what you buy. So don't fall for their tricks in making up some number for inflation. You know it's here. You have to protect you and your family. If you have any questions, you can go to tfswealth.com. That's us. TFS stands for Total Financial Solutions, tfswealth.com. I'm Arif Halaby, and that's Jeff Gerard, and we're here every week at this time talking about your family's finances, hoping you get out of debt, manage your money, plan for your retirement and your future. Your family counts on you. You're great at your job. Somebody's paying you. Count on you and your family to take care of your wealth. We're Total Financial Solutions on AM 1220 KHTS.